Last month we talked about Scottsdale being in a seller's market. Every single zip code, almost every master plan community with a couple exceptions. Well, what's different this month? What does supply and demand look like? Are we in a seller's market, a buyer's market? Are things curving up? Are things moving down? Let's find out right now. So as always, let's start with just the city of Scottsdale. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to branch out. I'm going to do all 9 zip codes. I'm going to go through each of the 9. And as I'm going through the zip codes, I'm going to hit the master plan communities in each of those zip codes for you as well. So we're going to go through the market data. I'm going to go through fairly quickly. Remember, all of this stuff is chaptered. So if you want to skip to a zip code and just check out that zip code in the master plan communities, go ahead and do that. Check out Scottsdale first though, so you understand the numbers that I'm about to show you and how to comprehend the actual numbers. So it is August 11th, 2023. These are July numbers. So remember, it's always obviously I don't have August numbers yet. So these are July numbers. The numbers just came out 2 days ago. And so here we are, July 2023. You can see here that we are in a seller's market, okay? What determines a seller's market? Months of inventory. So if we drop down right below where it says seller's market, we can see that there's 2.49 months of inventory. What does that mean? That means in Scottsdale, if no more homes came on the market for the next 2.5 months, we would have 0 supply. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot of supply, which means, again, seller's market. Then you see right next to that, list to sold price, 97.8%. Folks, what that means is that sellers are getting most of their asking price. They might be taking a little longer. I mean, we are in a seller's market, but it's not an extreme seller's market. And so with that being said, yeah, you can see it's taking about 38 days on average to sell, so a little longer. It's not 14, 15 months ago where everything was selling in a weekend with 20 offers, 38 days on the market. So good news as a buyer, gives you a little bit of time. Can't guarantee that. Every home is different. But as a general rule, you might have a little bit more time to make your decisions. But doesn't mean you're getting 10, 20% discounts. Sellers are getting almost full asking price, 97.8%. Median sold price is $795, although median estimated value is $816,000. That's the number we're really looking at. So $816,000. Now, interesting development for Scottsdale over the last month. And one of the things that we are really dealing with right now is just a lack of inventory. So we've had more buyer demand than we actually have supply on the market. So it's not like there's all the supply coming and the buyers are soaking it up. But with that being said, last month, Scottsdale was at about, I can't remember exactly, but it was probably at about a plus 1.5% in terms of a month change. So everything was curving up. Now, as a whole, the city of Scottsdale has leveled off, at least for the month of July, okay? For the last 12 months, we're only down 5%. So remember all the Goldman Sachs and all the people out there saying, and this was after the market had gone down about 10%, they're like another 20% crash for Phoenix. We haven't seen that anywhere, okay? So nothing too alarming here, but again, something to keep your eye on as that levels off. It started to curl up. Now you see a little bit of leveling here for the city of Scottsdale. You know, I created Phoenix Homes and Hotspots to connect homes with the lifestyle around those homes using the power of video and community. What's up, everybody? My name is Todd Hall. I'm founder of Phoenix Homes and Hotspots right here in beautiful, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, if you're moving to the Phoenix Metro or thinking about moving to Phoenix, Scottsdale, and you want to know not just where all the great homes are, but what is the community like that surrounds that house, and as well as all the local hotspots in the area, restaurants, shopping, hiking, golf, whatever it might be, you've come to the right spot. We're going to connect all the dots for you. And listen, if you're coming out to the Phoenix Metro, you want to do some of our homes and hotspots tours, all you got to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. That way we can be your key to AZ. All right. So let's now go zip code by zip code, and we're going to start with 85257, which is the furthest zip code south in Scottsdale. So we're just going to move, we're going to start south and we're going to work our way up. Remember, as we're down towards the south, home prices tend to be more affordable to the south. Also, the homes are older as we move north. As a general rule, the median home prices are going to move up. And of course, you're getting newer, larger homes in most cases there. 85257. We are in seller's market, 2.26 months of inventory, so less than the city of Scottsdale. List to sold price, 99.5%. Basically, sellers are getting their asking price is what that's telling us, right? So again, if you're coming in thinking, hey, I'm going to write an offer 20% below market value, probably not going to happen. By the way, I'll always write the offer. I'll always make the offer. Sometimes if you're wanting to go in really low, I'll make the offer verbally, but we'll make the offer. But I have to set you up for the realistic expectation that they're probably going to get really close to their asking price as long as they didn't price at $100,000 over value. Again, folks, this isn't 2022. This isn't early 2022. So most people are fairly realistic in terms of where they're pricing. Not always, but most of the time. 28 days on the market, median estimated value of $622,000 in 85257. So you can see, again, well below the average for City of Scottsdale. Now, things still curling up here. So by the way, just so you know, our blue line is the actual zip code that we're looking at. Okay, so Scottsdale is this top orange line. The blue line is the zip code we're looking at. And then Maricopa County is this yellow line, and the state of Arizona is the red line. So you can see we're well above the averages in terms of home prices. We're well above Maricopa County in Arizona. We're well below the city of Scottsdale. So that's what this is showing us. And again, you can see right here, still curling up in this particular zip code. Probably because, again, lack of inventory, but also this is the most affordable zip code in the city of Scottsdale. So up 1.6% in the last month, now only down over the last 12 months, 3.9%. Okay, no master plan communities here to talk about. As we get further north, we'll start to get into master plan communities. But in these southern zip codes, remember, there are no master plan communities really. There's no real gates or master plan communities. There's neighborhoods that are, have names. They're just not master plan communities where we're going to pull a lot of market data for those particular communities. All right, moving into 85251, downtown Scottsdale, or the area around what most of you know as Old Town Scottsdale. What's happening? Seller's market, 3.08 months of inventory, so a little above the city of Scottsdale as a whole. 98.1%. So again, I mean, this is going to be a pretty common theme. Sellers are getting pretty close to their asking price. It might be taking a little bit longer, but in fact, actually, even though there's 3.08 months of inventory, that just means supply is up because look, it's only 33 days on the market. So it's actually below city of Scottsdale average in terms of days on the market. Little bit below, slightly on list to sold price, but that indicates to me that inventory has probably increased slightly. It's not like it's gone crazy, but it's increased a little bit in that area. Median estimated value, $530,000. By the way, I have this set up. I have this set where I'm showing you single family homes, condos, townhomes. So all of that data is mixed into the data that I'm showing you right now. So this is, it's not like, so 530 would be taking a $300,000 condo and mixing it with an $800,000 home. I mean, so there's a bit of a spread there, which is why you're getting that median estimated value a little bit on the lower side. There's more condos and townhomes in 85251 than there were in 85257. And actually, there's more in 85251 than there is in any other zip code in Scottsdale. For the last 12 months, you can see down 8.8%. By the way, you know what? Let's switch this to single family real quick and see what that looks like. Okay, so now you can see the median estimated value, right, jumped all the way up to $789,000. So that shows you how many condos and townhomes are actually in that 85251 area. Home prices haven't gone up quite as much, 0.9%, and then 12-month change down 4.6% for the last year there. All right, let's switch our chart back. Again, no master plan communities to talk about in 85251, so let's move northbound to 85250, just north of the Old Town Scottsdale area. 85250, again, we're back to our chart that shows, oh, hold on. Oh, hang on, I switched it to the wrong chart. I want the one that has everything. Okay, so single family homes, condos, and townhomes, 85250. Look, under 2 months supply, 1.88 months, 97.8% sold to list price, only 23 days on the market. Median sold price, again, this is, well, let's jump down to median estimated value of $634,000. That's down 0.8% for the last month, and over the last 12 months, down 5.3%. So again, if we're looking at our curves over here, leveled off just a little bit. In fact, gone down just a little bit. Let's look and see what just single family homes. Let's see the difference. Okay, so the condos are actually helping the market a little bit right now because those are going to be the most affordably priced homes on the market. So condos and townhomes are actually helping the market in terms of percentage change, not just for the last month, but also for the last 12 months. So you can see single family homes are down a little bit more if you take condos and townhomes out of the mix. So that is 85250. Let's move our chart back and let's go north now to 85258. McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch area. Okay, so let's start with 85258 and then I'll show you what McCormick and Gainey Ranch look like. 85258, if we take in single family homes, condos, and townhomes, you can see, again, seller's market, we know this, 1.95 months of inventory, so under 2, 28 days on the market, a little bit lower list to sold price, but again, 97% is pretty high. They're going to get pretty close to their asking price. Median estimated value of $822,000 for the last month, up 1.8%. Okay, now again, that has townhomes and condos in there, so I'm going to take that out in a second. But for the last 12 months, that's down only 4.8%. So no, the sky has not fallen on Scottsdale as many predicted. Interesting, look at this. If we take condos and townhomes out in 85258, our percentage change actually went up. It's gone up plus 2%. So 85258, this McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch area, look at our curve. Hang on a second. So 85258 is now the blue line because it's the top line, by the way. So that shifted. So 85258 is now our blue line. I was wondering about that. So look at this curve, this nice little curve going up. This might be, I haven't actually looked at all this data. I do this with you every month. I didn't go through it ahead of time. That might be our best percentage change as far as zip code. Down only 4.3% over the last 12 months. All right, let's look. I'm just going to leave it on single family for our, just single family homes for our master planned data. So McCormick Ranch, if we break it out of the rest, we get, which by the way, McCormick Ranch takes up a good portion of that zip code. But we got 2.36 months of inventory, again, really low, 97.2%. 59 days on the market, that's kind of interesting. For a market that's gone up 2.1% in the last month, 59 days on the market is kind of high. I did not expect to see that number. So that is an interesting statistic. You can see in McCormick Ranch, homes are selling a little over one, or median estimated value is a little over 1.1 million. And then again, 2.1%. So very much on par with the zip code, down only 6.7% for the last month. And here's your little curl to the upward trend right there. Let's look at Gainey Ranch while we're here. Gainey Ranch, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. And again, we'll just leave it on single family homes. Ooh, inventory dropped a bunch. So down 1.64. Now, by the way, it's not as big of a community, so I don't expect to see huge inventory there in a market like this in Gainey Ranch. It's just it's kind of the northwest corner of that zip code. So McCormick Ranch takes up most of it. 96.7% listed sold, 61 days in the market. We can see that median estimated value there, 1.8 million in Gainey Ranch right now. Plus 1.7% over the last month, so still appreciating deviating over the last couple months. We can see our curve over here, so we can see for the last 2 or 3 months it's gone up in value and only down 2.4% over the last 12 months. I'm going to say it again. Where's the crash in Scottsdale? Look, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not saying tomorrow things couldn't change. I'm just saying Goldman Sachs said this early in the year. I'm just not seeing what I'm not envisioning. I don't want their crystal ball. Let's put it that way. You know, I've been in the real estate business now since 1999. So I know your pain points. And the number one pain point is finding the right real estate consultant to work with. But the other one is finding the right loan broker. Now listen, I haven't told very many people this, but my first couple of years in the business, I almost left the business. And it was because there were things in a real estate transaction that I personally couldn't control. And that number one thing was that my loan brokers that I was referring my clients to were dropping the ball. Couldn't have been more frustrating. So I know if it was frustrating for me, it's frustrating for you. Look, you need somebody that's going to give you the best communication. They're going to do what they say they do. They close your loan on time, but also they give you the best pricing, the lowest interest rates, and the lowest closing costs without having to haggle with them. The loan team I work with now, I've been working with since 2005. They are the best of the best of the best. My clients thank me every time they use them. If you want them as well on your team, you want to be on our team, you know what to do. Pick up the phone, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'll make sure you get hooked up with the best team here in the Phoenix Metro. Now listen, let's get back to this video. All right, moving on. Let's go to 85260, zip code 85260. 85260, just to the north. We have seller's market, 2.12 months of inventory, 98.2% list to sold. These numbers are pretty consistent, guys. The only number that's really, obviously the median estimated value is deviating. The other one that's kind of fluctuating more than I expected, here we have 27 days on the market. In 85260, where we just saw 58 days on the market. Well, of course, that was Gainey Ranch. That was a specific subdivision, but that's fluctuated a little bit more than I had anticipated to see. But 27 days on the market here in this zip code, so that's pretty light. It's not taking a lot of time, but again, I'm giving you enough time if you're a buyer to make some solid decisions, hopefully, depending on the house. $881,000 median estimated value, down 0.7%. over the last month. So this is a zip code. Again, it's curling down a little bit. There was a couple months where it was curling up. Now you're starting to see a little bit of leveling off. If we're looking at this blue line, we're back to the blue line, 85260. Okay, and again, we're just, by the way, this is just a single family residence chart. So I know I've been going back and forth. I'm just going to leave it on single family now because most of the condo townhome activity really was down to the south. So I'm going to leave it on single family from here, but down 4.1% for the last 12 months, down 0.7%. So a little bit of a curl going south, going to the downward direction is what I mean when I say going south. Let's go to 85259. So we're going to go to an area that I call Scottsdale East. I know if you're a local and you're watching this, I drive you crazy with the way that I talk about these communities or how I section Scottsdale into 5 different sections, but it's much easier for a buyer coming from out of state to break it down a little bit into different sections as opposed to just saying north and south, with Shea being the, you know, kind of the line that determines that. 85259. So Scottsdale East. These are communities like Scottsdale Ranch and Ancala and some of those communities over there. Let's look at the zip code. Again, just single-family homes, just barely below 2 months of inventory, so that puts us in seller's market, 98% listed to sold. Now again, here's your 64 days. We just went from 28 days on the market to 64 days on the market, but check it out. I mean, you still only have less than 2 months of inventory, 98% listed to sold, and if we go down, it's interesting, right? With all those days on the market, you would think you might see a little bit of a dip in price. Median estimated value is 1.225, 1.226, but even with 58 days in the market, it's gone up 1.2% in the last month, only down 2.6% in the last 12 months. So let's look at a couple of our master plans. Scottsdale Ranch is first up. Seller's market, 1.77 months. I think that's the lowest inventory we've seen so far. Now, again, it's not a zip code. It's a master plan community, but I think that is the lowest we've seen so far. 1.77. What's interesting, again, sometimes these numbers, you're like, oh, well, 1.77 and the list is sold must be it must be like close to 100%. It's the lowest inventory we've seen, but it's the highest we've seen in terms, or it's also the lowest, that we've seen in terms of list to sold, 95.9, where everything else has been kind of in that 98, 99 range. So that's interesting. That may just be an indicator that there just hasn't been very much on the market for sale in there, and I'm pretty sure that's probably what that is. Without digging deeper. This video just kind of scratches the surface, so I'll dig deeper on that in some other videos. But 59 days on the market, median estimated value of 1.2 million. It has appreciated, Scottsdale Ranch, 1.6% over the last month. It's down for the last 12 months by 6.5%. And in this illustration, excuse me, since Scottsdale Ranch is above Scottsdale prices, it represents the blue line here, and you can see the curl up happening over the last few months. By the way, let's look at this real quick. So you can see March of 2023, if we just look at this, the market was still going down a little bit. So March of 2023, it was 1.01 million. Okay, look, I mean, median estimated value has actually gone up about 200,000 since that's, now I'm on April, 1.17 million. May, 1.17 million, so it kind of leveled off. June, 1.19. And then July, 1.2. We know July is 1.2. That's a pretty big difference from, let me look at that again. That can't be right. Hang on, guys. This is what happens when I do this spontaneously with you, which I like to do. I actually like to see the numbers with you when they first come out. 1.19, I don't know what number I was looking at there. Oh, I know what I was looking at, sorry. So 1.1, okay, let's do it again. February, 1.23, March, 1.19, April, 1.17, May, 1.17, so those 2 months leveled off. June, back to 1.19, and now we're up to 1.21, okay? So, so that's where you see, you know, and then if you go back a little bit further, that's where you get your 12-month down 6.5. But for the last, if you go back 6 months, we're basically kind of at a break even. If you take the dip and then watch that curl back up, we're basically at break even. Sorry, I know I just rambled there a little bit. I had to work through that for a second. But anyway, that is Scottsdale Ranch. Then let's go over to Ancala. And we're going to see 1.77 months of inventory. Interesting, sorry, the numbers, I was going to say very similar to Scottsdale Ranch, but the numbers hadn't flipped over yet. 1.69 months of inventory, so even less. This is what I would expect to see with 1.69 months of inventory, by the way, 99.6% list to sold price. That's what I would have expected to see with Scottsdale Ranch. 15 days on the market. This is a hot market. This might be the hottest in Scottsdale right now. 15 days on the market, almost 100% list to sold. The lightest inventory, median home prices in there. It's not like it's cheap. It's almost 2 million, 1.956 million. Up over the last month, which is exactly what you would expect with the numbers we just looked at, plus 2.2%. And over the last 12 months, this neighborhood is only down 1.9%. So doing really well. Probably, I'm going to guess, this may be the hottest market this may be the hottest community and market overall in Scottsdale right now. And here you see your curve up. All right, let's move up north, a little bit further north. Let's go 85255. DC Ranch, Grayhawk, Desert Highlands, some of those fun neighborhoods and communities. We can see 85255 as a whole, zip code is 2.52 months supply, 96.8% list to sold, 56 days on the market. A little higher than what I might have expected to see because this is a pretty hot zip code. Median estimated value of 1.3. Again, we're just doing single family. You will find some condos, townhomes in this zip code. Let's just stick with single family right now. 1.339 estimated value, up plus 0.6%. For the last 12 months, though, you can see this market, if you look at our curve, you didn't have that deep dive like, you know, that really, and when I say deep, I mean, this dip wasn't nearly as extreme as what we've seen in some of the other graphs, right? So this market has held tight pretty well, which again, you can see the last 12 months only down 1%. Pretty good market in terms of just resiliency, if that's in terms of if that's what you're looking for. All right, let's take a look. Let's do McDowell Mountain Ranch first. By the way, McDowell Mountain Ranch, along with McDowell Mountain, along with McCormick Ranch and Scottsdale Ranch and DC Ranch, which we're getting ready to talk about, and Old Town Scottsdale are my top 5 family-friendly communities. So McDowell Mountain Ranch in Scottsdale. 1.26 months of inventory. So that seller's market, look at that arrow up at the top, is moving quite a bit left. 1.26 months of inventory, 97% list to sold, 38 days on the market. Median home values in there are 1.159. It's gone up. It's only gone up 0.2% in the last month, only down 1.4% over the last 12. Let's go up to DC Ranch. DC Ranch, very popular community in North Scottsdale, 85255. It's slowing a little bit. Let's look at the overall numbers, though. Again, this has been one of those really resilient markets that really didn't take that big dip. So not surprising to see, with prices still kind of staying really stable there, not surprising to see it's not as deep into seller's market territory, 3.3 months of inventory, 96% list to sold, 138 days on the market. Now, part of this might just be, again, lack of inventory. Not enough people selling their homes in there. 138 days is a lot, especially with some of these other numbers that we're looking at, especially when you look at the last month. It's gone up 1.7%. That's not exactly what you would expect to see with 138 days on the market. That's 5 months on the market. So usually you would see a lower list to sold price, and you might expect to see a dip, but it's DC Ranch. At the end of the day, people love DC Ranch. So look, the last 12 months, up 5.3% in the last 12 months. So everybody waiting for a bargain in DC Ranch. It never came, and now prices are only going up again. Let's see where they were back. So we're at median estimated value right now, 1.721. Let's see where they were at their lowest. Was at about 1.62. So they've gone up about $100,000 since January. So interesting. Again, DC Ranch, that's just one of those really resilient communities. Super, super popular master plan community up in North Scottsdale. Let's do Grayhawk across the street, just to the west. Grayhawk. All right, and again, we're just doing single family homes. No townhomes or condos mixed in. There is a townhome. There's a little bit of a townhome condo market in here. Not much, but there's a little bit. We're just going to take that out because it's kind of just a small number. All right, seller's market, 2.28 months of inventory, 97% list to sold, 38 days on the market, 1.164 median estimated value, up 0.4% in the last month, down 2.4% in the last 12 months. So not as strong as DC Ranch, but not too bad. Again, it didn't take, you can see these dives, the downturns, I should say. There was no real dives in terms of like what was projected anyway. But the downturns here in 85255, you can see, aren't as extreme if we're looking at our blue line down here. All right, let's go up to Desert Highlands. Let's do that. Oh, no, actually, let's do Silverleaf. One of the most prestigious communities in all of Arizona. You guys want to see some estimated home values? Check this out. Silverleaf, 4.46 months of inventory. Again, I'm going to guess inventory is really, in fact, I have the number right down here. Why don't I just show it to you? New listings, there's only 4, guys, right? So there's only 4 new listings on the market. So this is just some of these numbers you got to factor in. It's not a huge community. Silverleaf's not small, but it's not so huge that if you get a dip in terms of what's available on the market, you're going to start to see days on, you're going to start to see some of these numbers start to adjust accordingly. 4.46 months of inventory, 97.8% listed sold, 138 days in the market. I'm a little surprised, although when you look at our median estimated value of 4.7 million, that tells part of the story of days on market. But with only 4 new active listings, I'm a little surprised that it's taking that long in Silverleaf. Down 1.1% in the last month. Now again, not a lot of inventory, but in the last 12 months, Silverleaf, by the way, Silverleaf is part of it's kind of the luxury arm of the DC Ranch 4 villages. So Silverleaf is, it's its own community, but it is considered part of DC Ranch. So just like DC Ranch, it's actually gone up 6.3% in the last 12 months. Look at this chart for Silverleaf, by the way. Up, 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 up. Interest rates, who cares? Up, 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 up. Little dip right here. They've had a couple little dips in like 1 month cycles in the past, in the past 6 to 9 months, but it usually bounces back up. So we'll see next month what Silverleaf looks like. And then the last one in Desert Highlands, let's check out. Last one in 85255. Let's check out Desert Highlands. Okay, Desert Highlands. A golf community. Okay, this is a community, by the way, that if you want to move into it, you have to have a golf membership. So this is a private golf community. Really, really beautiful, though. Sits right at the south side of Pinnacle Peak, and so really just gorgeous surroundings there. I don't have a lot of numbers, and in fact, I need to probably stop showing this one because sometimes you just don't have enough numbers in this particular community. You can see 5.5 months of inventory. It's not really giving us much else down here, which again is just an indicator, if I go down, of no real inventory, no real listings on the market. Although active right now, there are 12. There's only 3 new. Nothing. It looks like nothing really moved, and so I'm guessing that's why we're getting nothing up here. You can see though in the last, well, let's look at what's sold. Hold on. Let's dig deeper then. Yeah, I mean only 1 property sold, which is why we're getting no data. So I'm not quite sure, I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure where they get an appreciation of 5.6%. That number is a little bit manipulated. Well, I guess if 1 property sold, 1 property could move the needle that much. That number is going to be loaded, right? We know that if only 1 property sold, up 5.6%. If 5 properties would have sold, that number probably would have balanced more downward. Although in the last 12 months, that Desert Highlands has gone up 8.1%. So there's still a chance that might have been one of those 1 or 2% appreciators. But again, a loaded number because only 1 property sold there last month. All right, let's move northbound. 85262, we're starting to get up into deeper and further up into North Scottsdale. This is where you're going to find Troon North and Desert Mountain. We'll cover those 2 in a second. But as a zip code, 85262, there's 5.17 months of inventory, 97% listed sold, 75 days on the market, 1.3 median. Well, okay, so sorry, I'm not really. The 2 numbers are confusing. I've been using median estimated value because that's really more accurate to what the average home price or home value actually is right now. So 1.5 million median estimated value, up 0.3% over the last month, down 1.9% over the last 12 months. Just for fun, let's look at the same numbers down here. Active listings, 192 properties across the zip code. And you can see sold, 41 actually sold, okay? So that's where you get some of your absorption rate stuff up here, or your month's inventory that we just looked at right here, okay? All right, let's look at Troon North. Which is a master plan inside of 85262. Now this is 13 different communities inside of one big master plan. And so you're gonna have kind of a range, you're gonna have gated communities and non-gated communities. So you have a pretty big range in Troon North in terms of the people that live out there, or the home styles, the home sizes, and certainly the home prices with gated and non-gated. So you're going to see the median actually comes down a little bit. You would think the Troon North would be higher, but that is the reason that you see it's not as a community as a whole. Desert Highlands is just this small community, where Troon North is this huge community with 13 neighborhoods inside of it. So 1.66 months of inventory, 97% listed sold, 40 days on the market, $1.36 million value, estimated home values, down 0.6% in the last month. So this is one that was heading up and now took a little bit of a dip. Nothing major. We'll keep an eye on it over the next couple months, down 5.8% over the last 12. And then let's go all the way north. As far north as you can go and find a community in Scottsdale. This is Desert Highlands. Amazing community. It's almost like a city of its own out there in Desert Highlands. If it had a grocery store and a gas station, it would basically be its own self-serving city. Has restaurant, 7 golf courses, 7 restaurants now. And it's just a massive community on a hillside with its own hiking trails and horseback riding and camping and everything out there. It's pretty crazy. And of course, an amazing community, clubhouse as well. July numbers, balanced market, interesting. Okay, so this is the first one. In fact, Troon North, I think, was almost in buyer's market last month. So you can see balanced market here. But again, interesting, as large as Desert Highlands is, there's no numbers here, which means there's probably not much that's sold out there, which means our numbers, oh, hang on. Oh, guys. Hey, I make mistakes too, okay? What am I doing? Desert Mountain, I put in Desert Highlands again. I was going over the Desert Highland numbers again. Bear with me. I'm human. These spontaneous videos where I look at the numbers with you are show my human side. Hey, all right, so it's still balanced market though. Let me make sure. Yep, Desert Mountain. Okay, still balanced market. 5.72 months of inventory, 96.5% list to sold, 62 days on the market, $2.5 million estimated home value. That's down 0.6% over the last month and down only 0.5% over the last 12. So another pretty resilient market. One thing about Desert Mountain is, again, it's quite a ways to the north. So it takes about 15, well, it depends on where you actually live in Desert Mountain. If you're at the guard gate, it takes you about 15 minutes, I think it's 17 or 18 minutes actually, down to the 101 freeway. Now you do have access to restaurants and grocery stores and gas stations and all that stuff up in the Carefree Cave Creek area. But if you're trying to get down to some of the mainstream stuff, if you live way up on the mountainside in Desert Mountain, it could take you 30 minutes to get down to the 101 freeway. It just depends, again, on how far and deep into that large community you actually live. All right, last but not least, 85266. This is where you're going to find communities like the Boulders and Terravita as a couple of the main master plans there. This, as a zip code, 2.6 months of inventory, which puts them firmly in seller's market, 97% listed sold, 53 days on the market, $1.26 million value, up 0.9% over the last month, down about 5.9% over the last 12. So that's 85266. Let's see how the Boulders impacts those numbers. Up a little bit in terms of inventory, but not too much off of what we just looked at. 2.94 months of inventory, 96.7% listed sold, 56 days in the market. Pretty close to what we just looked at for the zip code. 1.167 million estimated value, up 1% over the last month, down 4.7 over the last 12. And then last community that we'll talk about here is Terravita. Terravita. So this is going to bring the numbers down a little bit. Only 1.29 months of inventory. This, I think, might be the lowest we've seen. Now, again, not a huge community. This isn't Troon North. This isn't McDowell Mountain Ranch. This isn't McCormick Ranch. Okay, so it's a smaller, a little more tight-knit community. But 1.29 months of inventory, 97% listed sold, 56 days in the market. Median estimated value is just a little, slightly over $1 million. Last month, it's gone up about 0.8%, and over the last 12, down 2.6%. All right, so what did we learn? Well, there's a little bit of curling, or there's at least a little bit of a balancing happening. So where we started to see things curling last month, we're starting to see things level out a little bit. A big reason for that is it's the same thing we've been talking about: supply and demand numbers. Right, we're just not getting a lot of supply. We've had enough demand to really soak up the supply that's there, plus some. We're still seeing that. We're just seeing that it leveled off a little bit. Whereas you're starting to see a little bit more of a leveling between seller supply and buyer demand. Although everything is still fairly firm, not everything, most of these communities were still fairly firmly in seller's market territory as of right now. All right, guys, that's it for this one. We will see you next month. Hey, did you like that video? Show me some love. Hit the like button down below. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were. Then be sure you subscribe and tap that alert bell. And from there, I'm going to do all the heavy lifting for you. We'll create the content. We will notify you every time we create new popular videos right here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots. And then check the description below. I have some other related videos down there. Or you can check out two of my most popular videos right here.